My name is Rhapsody. It's been a billion years since we've played the Silent in a non-daily challenge, so I think it's about time to do that. Now let me call my shot right here. What I want is like a super ridiculous Shiv accuracy build. Now, let's have our dreams crushed by the video game. Obtain a random rare relic for a curse, sometimes worth? Question mark? We actually have the ability to pick up 4 different elites on this floor, so obtaining 3 potions is not a bad option. We're gonna do it, in fact. Okay, those are all quite good potions. I'm quite pleased. Ooh, a lot of defensive options in my opening hand there. Yikes. Would have been nice to have that strike in the first one. And the damage is going to start getting away from me quite quickly here. It's 15, but thankfully we have lethal. Beautiful. Ooh. You know what? Let's go heal hook. First upgrade is going to be onto my neutralize, and we're just going to do try and do a weakness archetype. We'll see how well it works. My guess is no. At all. Not at all. Beautiful. Yeah, this is the problem I was worried about. I really don't want to take 14 damage, but I don't even want to take 9. So is it an energy potion or a fire potion? Probably an energy potion for us. Single copy of Skewer is going to help us out against this elite. Or rather, these elites, plural. Footwork is always a pretty good pickup. I'm worried about it, though. Because I don't want to make the same deck that I've made a billion times before. And also, if I'm putting a bunch of weakness in my deck, that's effectively defense. Like, it's not really, but it is effectively defense. Actually gonna remove a card. Oh god. That wasn't even the actual shop space? Well, at the very least, there's nothing. Never mind, there's a kunai. Particularly pleased about how that one went. I don't like that you can have a randomized shop space appear right before an actual shop space. That just tends to end up frustrating me. Alright, 3 strikes. But no attack on the part of the enemy, so I'm fine. I mean, neutralize heal hook is multiple hits. Skewer multiple hits. Let's put in Venom in this deck, because I rarely ever put in Venom in decks. I always have a reason not to. I still don't really think I should have put it in this deck, but you know what? We're not in High Ascension. I can do what I want. Get some more... I'm afforded broader leeway. Still gonna be taking 8 damage here, but we're doing okay. Let's try and have our next turn be better. Still no? Yikes. Alright, so now we also want all multi-hits that we can see, as well as Snecko Skull, as soon as we can possibly get it. They're artifacting. Hopefully the backline's dead in the next hand. It looks like it likely is. Never mind. It is, however, dead the turn after. Just give me Skewer. Ooh. Skewer as a follow-up to all of that would have also been lovely. Burn him. 14 HP effective for the enemy and dead. Beautiful. Smiling Mask, the merchant's card removal service, now always costs 50 gold. That's going to be really handy for us as well. We don't... Like, I don't know if I can put Finisher in this deck yet, but ultimately Finisher would go in this deck. I I don't think I can take it until the deck is much more settled. Alright. Unfortunately, while I can't attack really that much more than once a turn, this is just like a really bad Noxious Fumes, the Envenom. Like, it costs 1 more and it does way less. It has a higher potential, sure, but it's nowhere near reaching it. Again, finisher, good, but doesn't really fit in it right now. It'd be too much to put that in my deck right now. Just gonna make sure that my finisher is ready. Okay. Wee bit of damage in there. It's all fine. It's all fine. I am going to need to hit as often as possible, so I don't have the ability to just defend, survivor here. Because if I do not start throwing those punches, I'm just going to be out-damaged. Really unfortunate. Really would have liked Skewer in that hand. Oh, well. And I'm going to throw that out. Blood Vial at the start of each combat. Heal 2 HP. Sure. It's going to be handy. Like, 1,000 cards I like, again, and I do want to play a lot of cards each turn, but I'm muddling my win condition way too much. I can't take it. Thread and Needle at the start of each combat. Gain 5 plated armor is a really good pickup for us. And we could easily just die in this fight, like... I kind of expect to, in fact. The Thread and Needle might actually keep us alive. Whew. Rough. Really would have liked to play Survivor that turn, but unfortunately we don't have that much energy. Okay. Defend, defend. Hit it with that, that. Hell yes. Gotta focus on all of my defenses first. Always, eternally. If I can get Snecko Skull, this can really not take off, but it can get a lot better. Much more quickly than it's been doing so far. Ouch. I might not actually end up with the draw to kill here. Yeah, instead I'm going to throw that potion. Really hoping I wouldn't have to, but didn't draw my neutralize on my strike. Epicrane, enemies with weak deal 50% less damage rather than 25. Yeah, kind of what I wanted, but a long time ago. Panache, tantalizingly out of reach. We need this deck to tend much more defensive right now. There's a bunch of gold, and then straight into another elite. Hell yes, let's go. We are so dead. Okay, 5 damage. You don't actually even break my barrier here. I love it. This 1 damage is going to be a problem, though. Because that's going to be a vulnerability. It's just more vulnerability. Oh, thank you for using another vulnerability attack. All right, we are fine. I think we're actually covered against you now. Beautiful. Molten Egg, whenever you add an attack card to your deck, it is upgraded. So now all attack cards will be considered much more highly. We take Bane because it immediately upgrades. And with Envenom, it's really good. We're probably actually just dead right here. Like, without AoE, this fight's gonna be really rough. And we're weakened. Yikes. Alright. Sure. Only 1 damage left for that center line. Now I've got my poison on. Hell, looks like we might actually get out of this without taking any damage. Plated armor is ridiculous. It's worth noting. Plated armor is gosh dang insane. Alright, good. Sucker Punch is immediately going to upgrade, and now it's got 2 weakness on application. Rest for 21 HP. And try and kill this boss. By neutralizing and sucker punching, I'm going to have you weak this turn, but I'm going to have you weak on the turn that you do your giant hit as well. So maybe that ends up saving me. We'll see. 17. That's a very low amount of damage. I'm fine with that. That's the paper crane in action there, halving the incoming damage. Super important I start getting those hits out, unfortunately. Really would have liked malaise there, but also the malaise kind of gets lost in the shuffle quite quickly here. Beautiful. Make another enemy split. It gets lost because as soon as the enemy splits, they no longer are affected by any of the debuffs they were prior affected by. Again, it would be lovely to have some AoE. Managed to lessen the damage quite significantly. Let's just finish the backline off as quickly as possible. Only have 1 target on the field at any one time. 15. Yeah, we're fine. The Bane is 20 damage. And also 2 triggers of Envenom. Take a single copy of Alchemize here. I really want the extra energy, but do I think I can take a Velvet Choker in this deck because I'm not generating shivs. As much as I want to generate shivs, I just don't have that right now. And I really do need to kind of hold on to my money so that I can continually remove cards from my deck. Speaking of, 4 elites on this floor and a shop before them, so I can start removing these cards from my deck. Alchemize for a wee bit there, don't mind if I do. I don't need to put you on the ground. Right. Skewer the center liner. Malaise is not upgraded yet. I really do need it to be upgraded so that I can cast it for 0 and still get a good effect. So we're just waiting on that. Sucker Punch, Heal Hook, Strike, puts you on the ground, and now I can Envenom. Take no damage. We really do need some dagger sprays, game. Like, round about now would be a great time for them. Just gonna let those guys kind of peter out there. Don't really have to worry about them. Just have to worry about making sure I don't take any damage where available. Okay. Drop a dex potion for a regen potion. Endless Agony is kind of good in a deck that has Envenom, unless you draw Endless Agony first, in which case it's garbage. I actually managed to talk myself out of it by doing that. All right. Weaken the frontliner, target backliner. Pretty lame alchemized, unfortunately. Stop taking my money. I need it. Live. Also, real garbage hand right there. Just a default hand at this point in the game. Who the heck? I've been cursed with this. Should probably have cast the malaise there so that I don't draw it. There's the malaise. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to deal enough damage to kill him this turn, unfortunately. Yeah. Without Envenom, it's really not in the cards for us. Riddle with Holes is good, especially upgraded. So it's 2 energy for 20 damage, but it also triggers Envenom 5 times. It's really unfortunate, but I don't want to lose either of those. Yeah, I was wondering if I was going to get this space, and I was also trying to decide what I would do. I think I actually upgrade all of them. There's Dagger Spray there, finally. I don't actually have discard synergies, so I'm actually going to get rid of the Survivor now. I will now take a Dagger Spray. And we will trudge on forwards. Oh, this is not good. At the very least, we're fully defended without really having to interact. But yeah, that's a 9. Thankfully, you're weakened again, which is so good. Yep. As per always, when I draft an Alchemize, I've forgotten to clear out my potions before I actually use it. Right, now we're starting to get some serious poison out. I'm quite pleased about it. Prayer Wheel, which is non-boss chest, now also contain cards. If we picked up the Flying Knee, it would immediately upgrade itself. I'm kind of considering it just as a value pick. We also have 2 X cost cards, so getting that extra energy is super useful. Right, no days for my deck, thank you very much. Unfortunately, the Envenom won't affect the enemy until we get past its armor, and the armor is already the big problem with this enemy. Alright. We have finally managed to break through the armor. Take an escape plan. No negative effect on our deck archetype. This is going to be a proving ground, this fight. So I have no clue how we're going to make it through this one excellently. Actually, put more into our defense than we typically would. Venom Dagger Spray is helpful. If I use my Ancient Potion, I can prevent the vulnerability coming out from the backliner here. I'm also going to throw in a hit because I really don't want to be entangled. Well, the backliner wasn't even going to entangle me, so it looks like we're fine. Sucker Punch, and then Heal Hook to get the energy back. Alright. That could have gone a hell of a lot worse. Gotta make sure that I get all of the turns of regen from my potion here. So I'm not going to kill you this turn. Rather, I should have tried to engineer it so that the poison would kill you, but it's also fine to just wait until the next turn. Vajra at the start of combat, gain 1 strength. We're incentivized to play a lot of attacks because of Envenom and also now because of Vajra, so they kind of fit together like that. Single upgraded Piercing Wail is also a really good pickup. It's a great single one-off. Hey, Girya! You can now gain strength at rest sites. That's not good for us anymore. Oh boy. Oh no. Because I'm going to want to do that. It's going to get much, much, much more risky. Thanks for the damage. Thankfully, I've got these 2 regen potions, so I can use them to heal up into middle of everything. Get these lifts on. Okay. We're actually like 1 off being fully defended here, so let's actually do that. Blimey. Sucker Punch. Riddle with Holes. Riddle with Holes is also benefiting from all of this extra strength, as well as Skewer is benefiting from all of this extra strength, so it's worth keeping all of that in mind. Strength might actually be the saving aspect of this run. All right, that's a perfect fight right there. Could scarcely be better. Dead Branch whenever you exhaust a card, add a random card to your hand. Yeah, no thanks. Die is a pickup for an AoE. Yeah. And I'll drop an Ancient Potion to pick up a Swift Potion here. Sucker Punch, Heal Hook. Riddle with Holes for 6 by... It's 30. Damn. And then if I melee's there, I'm actually safe this turn. We might have found the winning line here. Gotta make sure that I'm poisoning every turn. And bunch of knees. Come on and give me. Nope, not what I was looking for there. Also not what I was looking for even there. But we're gonna be fine. Beautiful. Upgrade another Bane. Don't mind if I do. Bane is doing a super amount of damage for us. We definitely want to drop the Piercing Wail here. It's just what are we using alongside it? I kind of want to get a source of Weaken. So I'm actually going to use the Dig. Didn't get it, but that's fine. We did get Dagger Spray, which is great. Excellent. 30 damage for the back line as well. And we'll throw Malaise out so we don't draw it. We might actually flawless this fight. That doesn't make sense to me. But it looks like it might happen. Yikes. This all suddenly turned around. Yeah, we're gonna be fine here. The weakness isn't really dragging behind the build like I'd expected it might. We're not playing that many cards, so we're not really going to benefit from the after image, unfortunately. Or rather, we're not going to benefit from it as much as I would need to justify taking it. Okay, this is good. We're going to start working through all of these artifacts. Let's also start drinking the regen potion, because this fight could go until we get just giant hyper beamed and then lose. Kinda terrified of that. Unfortunately, without a weaken potion, I don't know if we can actually do anything about this bronze automaton here. Guessing we'll do it. I'm gonna see if I can perfect this fight. I don't think it's likely, but crumbs, maybe. Okay, only 8 incoming damage this turn. It's fine. You're charging up, but you're only charging up your big, your double hit, which is fine. 8. Yep, we're covered. Double strike, get some poison in. Over defended by 1. We need more weakness if we can pick it up. Alright. Neutralize and Sucker Punch both remain in my deck. I really need at least one of them. Nope, we didn't get either of them. That's really unfortunate. Without either of them, there was no way I was going to be able to defend myself here. Okay. And I was hoping for Riddle with Holes as my finisher, but I suppose that'll do as well. Was the trade? Burst? It's all kind of garbage, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's just Tools of the Trade so that I can cycle through my deck a lot faster. Sozu, you can no longer obtain potions. That's going to be rough because we already do have an Alchemize in our deck. But we do really want extra energy, so sure. Alright, so Awakened 1 is at the end of this floor, which means that powers are bad. So in Venom and Tools of the Trade, we've got 2 powers in our deck so far. We can probably be fine with that. I could also just remove both of those powers from my deck over the course of this floor. Not a half bad idea, if you ask me. Really? Yeah, I'm gonna take some damage this fight. Really doesn't matter if I do, but still. I'm hoping to get out of that flawlessly. Expertise is if you want to play a bunch of cards, because you have to play a bunch of cards to empty your hand, then play Expertise, then play the cards that you get from it. And we're never really going to be able to do that with a Velvet Choker. Sucker Punch, and now we're safe. Actually, just going to go all out in terms of damage. I could have set up my tools of the trade there, but yeah, skewer. Go for another heal hook. This one's upgraded, thankfully. Lose a defend plus, I think, actually. Maybe I'd lose the envenom. This has suddenly become like a strength deck. But envenom also makes the Bane do double damage. Two extra cards in my opening hand makes my opening hand 9 cards large. That's quite good. And then let's remove another card from our deck. Let's have the world's most consistent draw, if we can. Ooh. Let's use Goya here. Girya. I don't have a weaken currently active, unfortunately. Right, yeah, Alchemize needs to be removed from my deck, of course. But of course. There's some slight AoE provided to us, thankfully. Double knock that back line. Drop another defense here. We're going to be fine. Awesome. If I can somehow engineer both of them dying at the same time, we're going to be in a really good position, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. Calipers, the start of your turn. Lose 15 block rather than all of your block. Don't know if that's ever going to be relevant, really, for us. There's our final lifting done. Venom Dagger Spray. And a die. We'll just defend as best we can. Thankfully, only one of them defended, so we shouldn't have too difficult of a time working through them. Dagger Throw, Sucker Punch. Second Sucker Punch? Yeah. Probably. Not a bad idea to pick up. Flying Knee, Sucker Punch, Heal Hook. Well, let's Sucker Punch, Heal Hook for the very start anyway. Draw ourselves another card. It's another Heal Hook. Like a Heal Hook. As much as I want to use my Skewer, since it's not upgraded, it's kind of worse than almost all of my other options. Solid 60 damage right there. Not amazing, not horrible. Should have played the defend before I played any of those attack cards. Don't make the same mistake I made. We've taken no damage against this elite yet. So everything's still fine. Alright, good. Make sure the enemy is weakened forever. I don't know if we're going to be able to get past this elite without taking damage, but I'm definitely going to be trying my absolute heart out. I messed that up. I should have kept the defend. Should have thrown the strike, kept the defend. I actually would have had a chance here as well if I had done. Yep. No, I actually would have flawlessed if I'd done that. Damn. Orichalcum, if you end your turn without block, gain 6 block. Probably don't want to pick up Noxious Fumes. It's another power. We've got the Awakened one at the end of this floor. We literally have like one skill that we actually play. Or would be lovely to duplicate, so that's the escape plan. Yeah, we're going to take the max HP here again. Art of War, if you don't play any attacks during your turn, gain an extra energy next turn, which is super unlikely. We will take another Skewer, though. Sure. 2 copies of Madness there because I really don't want to put a curse in my deck. Of course. Forgot about the Velvet Choker limits. I always forget about those. Probably should have just played no attacks that turn and let the Art of War give me extra energy the turn after. Would have been much more reasonable. Sucker Punch. Wee bit of Skewer there. Alright. Heel Hook, Riddle with Holes is just going to give a bunch of poison to the enemy. I was only really planning... It was either poison the enemy a bunch there, or throw in a giant malaise, but I think with the poison, yeah, we're actually going to be close enough to reach for lethal this turn. Birdface Urn, whenever you play a power, heals 2 HP. That's not really going to trigger that often for us. So I don't really want powers in this deck right now. Alright. Well, at the very least, the Bird Urn is going to be a little bit of healing for us before the final fight. And then pretty much nothing in the final fight. If all goes well. Drop the Neutralize here. It's Envenom, Sucker Punch, Heel Hook. That clears everything else. And we just target the main line. Like, we should just be able to target the main line again. Yeah, we're fine. Got him. Woo. Nope, no footwork for us. Crippling Poison's, specifically since it's upgraded, it's a little more interesting because it's a lot of weakness. But I think we have enough saturation of weakness in this deck that we're actually fine without it. I'm going to upgrade Envenom so that I can play it more easily. Another Heel Hook? Yeah. Heel Hook card removal. Remove another strike. I mean, there's no reason not to take something here, so I'm just going to take Bag of Marbles. And here, I'm going to rest before I go into the final fight. I don't know if this final fight's going to be successful at all. I kind of got a sneaking suspicion it won't be at all. Okay. Fully defended. I did not get to use Riddle with Holes, which makes me extremely sad. I am fully defended. 3 Heel Hooks. Yikes, and I'm still on full energy. I had to find a way to use the rest of my energy without using all of those cards. I don't know if I even want to play Tools of the Trade here. It's just not really necessary. We do definitely need to play Envenom, though. Okay. It's definitely Heel Hook. I'm not fully defended yet unless I Piercing Wail. See, I want to save the Piercing Wail for the multi-attack turns, but I'm currently perfecting the fight. I'd really like to continue that if at all possible. Oh, I forgot. I have Orichalcum as well as the Plated Armor. I actually have 11 block at the end of each turn without having to do anything extra. I totally forgot that. I was fine already. I didn't need to do all that extra stuff. 40 damage. That's a lot of damage. We should probably not let them do that damage to us. And then there's no reason here not to just throw both of the fire potions now. Because this form is the one I'm going to want to be in the least. 15 damage. And now I'm going to take my first hit of the fight. Damn it! May as well just throw out all the rest of the damage. Take another 5, and that is the kill wrapped up right there. So that was a really weird deck. We're going to have a look at the run history so that I can point out the win condition, what could have been done better, what could have been done worse. Light speed. Okay, we got 4 elites killed without taking damage. That's not bad. Not great, but it's not bad. Okay. Let's look at the compendium, not the compendium, sorry, the statistics. Run history. So, Alchemize obviously turned out to be a dud at the very end. The Velvet Choker did choke us like once or twice, but for the 2 times that it choked us, it enabled us on so many other turns to play a bunch of extra cards. And because we had Skewer and in the later game a second Skewer, as well as Malaise, the ability to cast for 1 extra on top of the X was so huge. Paper Crane was kind of defining in that run. It was definitional. Definitional, that's definitely not a word. The heel hooks were good, but because the deck became larger and larger as it tended more towards kind of trying to capitalize upon its own strength, the heel hooks lost their value. Also, they lost their value a little bit because of the Velvet Choker. But really, we meddled with the idea of making a weakness deck. And then we meddled with the idea of making a strength deck. And then at some point, over the course of the run, between Orichalcum and Thread and Needle, we had 11 block each turn, just generated out of nothing. And when you have 11 block each turn, and your weakness is twice as effective, and it removes 50% of the enemy's damage, you end up in a position where it is really, really difficult to deal significant amounts of damage to you. So I would argue that this run didn't really have like a quote-unquote win condition. It had a lot of different strong elements that worked together to form a win condition. So it's not like I can look at this and go, Riddle with Holes was our win condition, or like Piercing Whale, definitely not Piercing Whale, or like Bane was our win condition, or even Envenom. Envenom really wasn't our win condition in a bunch of those fights. It was just the overall value that we were able to propose by being able to weaken our enemies, by being able to defend so flawlessly without really playing defense cards, and also being able to capitalize on multi-attack hits to really use the strength from the Vajra and Girya. Alright, well, for the moment, my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we will see you next time.